Hey guys, it's Gaz. Welcome to another Warframe video. So, after the long weeks of grinding and doing my challenges and all that Nightwave stuff, I have obtained my Umbra Forma and I have used it on a frame that I thought was a good choice for the Umbra Forma build, and that is Garuda. So today we'll be going over Umbral Garuda and showing off some different build possibilities you can have with this Warframe using the Umbra Forma. So, I would just like to preface this with, this build is basically unobtainable for most people. Not only does it take an Umbral Forma to make it, it also takes particularly leveled Prime mods. We have a rank 7 Prime Flow, we have a rank 8 Prime Continuity. These are things not everybody really has exactly the same level, and the build is pretty tight. You can't really fit much more onto the build besides what we have on there, but we do have some other options for like a non-Umbral Garuda build too. The main thing we're utilizing today, guys, is we're utilizing Garuda's 4th ability and Magus Lockdown. So what Magus Lockdown does is it's a special arcane for your operator. When you do a Void Dash with your operator, it drops a explosive onto the ground that will tether enemies in an area and will deal 60% of their health as puncture damage after the mine explodes. So when we combine that with Garuda's 4th ability, which creates slash procs based on how much health or how much damage we deal to an enemy, it's really good. It's good enough to one-shot basically everything. So that's pretty fun. Here's one of the builds that we have today. Like I said, we have 3 different builds that we'll be going over. So this is the one just for like being super tanky and just like hanging out in a normal mission. This one does work in endless missions. I have gone 2 hours in Kuva Survival solo with this, and I can't say it was the best experience, but it is possible, guys. If you use the Vazarin Focus School like we are using, you can actually heal the Kuva towers. You can heal yourself. We don't actually use Xeneric with Garuda. We're using mostly this node right here, Protective Dash. So allies hit by the Void Dash are granted immunity from damage and healed for 60% of their health over 5 seconds. So basically what we'll do to get our energy, since we're not using Energize or Xeneric, is we will use Garuda's 3rd ability. So we lose a portion of our health, we get a portion of our energy back. We'll use that twice, jump on the operator, dash into Garuda, and then we can start using it again to get our energy back even faster. Okay, that's the main playstyle of getting your energy back for this, since we're not using Energize or anything like that. So yeah, pretty quick. Natural Talent is really on the build mostly for the 3rd ability, so we can spam it and get our energy back reliably. But it also does help a lot with the 4th and the 1st. So yeah, Natural Talent definitely. I've come around to this mod on Garuda. I used to not really think it was necessary, but the amount of speed you get added to your your like movement and stuff with this Natural Talent mod really makes a huge difference, and I would not play Garuda without it. Unless I was to go for the 100% bleed chance build, which we currently do not have equipped right now. We have 90% bleed chance, which I have not found to be a problem. But if you are like super, like you need to have the 100% bleed chance, you could just throw Augur Secrets here, and then you could maybe put Speed Drift over here to get your casting speed, although it would not be as fast as Natural Talent, of course. So yeah, the main gist of this build, guys, is we have a ton of armor, we have a ton of health, and we have adaptation and quick thinking. So we have like 5 slots for defensive mods right now, but the thing about Garuda is she doesn't really need stats to make her abilities function properly. We have 181% strength, so it's a 90% bleed chance on our 4. And like I said, it does not really matter that we are not 100% chance for most situations. Like, if a guy doesn't start bleeding for some reason, you're probably just going to kill him instantly, like right after the first bleed chance doesn't go off anyway. Okay, so let's just quickly show how I normally play this, and we'll show some of the tankability of this. So, got 4 level 165 gunners, 4 corrupted bombards level 165. I was doing this with Eximus earlier, but it was kind of hard to tell what was going on because of all the ability effects going on. Alright, so we jump in, we get our health pylon. So now we're regenerating health per second. We also have a dog that's making us go invisible right now. So if they shoot me, which hopefully they can shoot me, I have a ton of armor. I'm regenerating health per second, so it's actually really difficult for them to kill me. And I only have 1 healing pylon, guys. I can actually stack these to 3, so we can get 3 healing pylons at the same time. And they're not going to be able to kill me. I'm not even going like below, like... Did I go below 600? I did go below 600 there. We did lose one of our healing pylons. So if we keep both the healing pylons, we're not going below 600. Not to mention, these healing pylons can actually heal the dog and our teammates as well. And our teammates' dogs, for that matter. So, yeah, this is if we were just chilling, but here's what we're normally doing. We're putting out our 4, we're dashing through the enemies. Those guys are dead, I don't need to look at them anymore. Let's get this guy too. And now he's dead too. These guys on the spikes, they're about to be dead as well. You're in low enough health I can just execute you. And like, look at how weak our gun is compared to our abilities right now. The combination of Garuda's Seeking Talons and the Magus Lockdown Arcane is just amazing. The one thing you do need to keep in mind, guys, is that when you're fighting the Corpus, the calculation for Magus Lockdown does not care about shields. So if the Corpus enemy has like 50 health and like 5 million shield, it's only going to take that. It's going to make that puncture damage based off of their health, not their shields. Okay, so that's just the tanky hanging out build. Let's quickly just show like a normal Garuda build, kind of a normal Garuda build with no health mods and basically adaptation and quick thinking. Adaptation and quick thinking is like the main crux of a normal Garuda build, and then you want like 200% strength-ish. Like I said, you can go to like 180 strength and have the 90% bleed chance. It's totally fine. But yeah, for this one, basically, we're gonna do the same exact thing. I just want to show that the non-Umbral build can do what we just did there. So let's just not even mess around here. Let's just go for the kill right away. Alright, these guys are dead. See, and you can do this in Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. I've played Elite Sanctuary Onslaught solo as Garuda and gone to Wave 8 multiple times. It's very easy, as long as you know like to spam your Magus Lockdown. Because Magus Lockdown is a big part of it. We also use Maiming Strike just for the ease of use. But yeah, like, basically, like, let's go over the weapons really quickly, too. So I'm using a Umbra Prime. This is mostly just for dealing with Nox, because Nox is one of the only enemies we can't really take care of efficiently. We have 100 munitions on here, but, like, Nox doesn't really care about 100 munitions that much either. So it's kind of just, like, a big yikes if we ever fight Nox in the first place. But, yeah, it's not too terrible. Nox Eximus level 165 is kind of a yikes, but, you know, we can still deal with them. We'll probably put him to sleep with Magus Lockdown, then just headshot him a bunch with the Umbra Prime, and then execute him when he's at 40% with our first ability. And then we also have a anti-Corpus weapon. We actually can deal with nullifiers pretty well with just Magus Lockdown, but if we're like fighting an enemy with a ton of shields, then Magus Lockdown's not going to really like take care of them. This Pure Toxin Hystrix with a crit build on it is pretty nice. So we have a minus reload Riven, so that's why we have a reload mod on here. But let's just quickly show this. These enemies have armor, so it's not going to be as easy. But this Hystrix actually, like the Toxin procs stack up really high, and when you're using your 4s Garuda to cause bleed procs as well, it's pretty nice. Because the slash procs and the Toxin procs stack on top of each other. She's just basically dead. It's just like a fun like damage over time gun. The bleed proc thing ran out for him. He's still gonna like die to the Toxin hopefully. Yeah, really fun weapon. Yeah, it's just like, it's for fun. If we see a Corpus, it takes like basically one bullet to kill them through their shield. Since it's pure Toxin, it bypasses their shields. And yeah, it's really good. And then just quickly, like the final weapon is the melee, the Plague Crit Path Polearm. So the parts we're using for this one are Equana Jai 2, Stung, and the Plague Crit Path Grip. And the reason I went with like this like kind of slow version is that I have an attack speed Riven with range and stuff too. So it was mostly just I went slower for the parts to make this because I could get away with that with my attack speed Riven. And that's basically it, guys. We have a blast build just for condition overload purposes. And then let's go over the dog really quickly. The thing with dogs in this game is they take a lot of forma, and if you forma your dog a certain way, you're kind of committed to a build. So I really like to put Medi Pet Kit in this last slot, but the forma is like kind of a problem because if I forma this for Maul, I get 7 points, and Medi Pet Kit is 9 points. So I have to make like a weird build for this, and I don't really know if I want to do that. So right now we have an empty slot, but basically we have Mecha Recharge. So this is just basically a set bonus mod to make it so we get the Mecha set bonus quicker. We also have Mecha Override, another set bonus mod, and we have Link Health and Link Shields. Since we have so much health and armor on the it was actually Link Armor I meant to say. We have Link Armor and Link Health. See, our dog actually, it didn't update, but we have about 1,865 health and 939 armor. That's tankier than basically most of the Warframes in the game. The dog deals about 1,200 damage per attack, and it has a 43% crit chance with a 9.6 multi. So, yeah, it's a pretty powerful dog. This dog also makes us invisible, which is kind of nice for survivability, although we don't really need that. He's mostly there for the mecha bonus for this mecha set build we're about to go for. So, this is the mecha bonus set. We basically took off Prime Continuity for Mecha Pulse, which gives you 60% of additional armor for every enemy in a 20 or 30 meter radius when a marked enemy dies. So this is the mecha bonus for the dog. Let's just quickly show how that works. We also have this mecha empowered aura mod, so we deal extra damage to the marked enemy. So if they have a dog icon above their head, we deal extra damage to them, basically, is how that works. Okay, so are these guys paused? I don't actually remember. Yeah, they're paused. Okay, so if we were to kill one of these enemies that was marked, let's do that really quick. Alright, so see, we have 660 additional armor percentage. That's a percentage. It's not like an additional... So basically, I did the math really quickly. I think this goes off base armor, and Garuda has 300 base armor. So for that much, we're getting like over 1,000 plus armor, guys. So it's really nice. That's making us have like 4,000-ish armor. It's probably more than that, actually. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but we actually were using the mecha set bonus there, and it just nuked them down. So the way this works, and especially it was really nice with the Garuda, is we get the headshot, kill it with slash procs. The slash procs transfer to the enemies, and it's just like a death explosion. It's really nice, guys. So what's happening there is we are using our dog's ability to mark the enemy, putting a little dog icon above their head, and we're killing them with a slash proc from our Hunter Munitions weapon. And it's actually transferring that slash proc to the other enemies. We can also combine that with our 4, just for complete disgustingness. So it literally took 1 bullet to kill that group of enemies. That was a pretty controlled situation there, but trust me, it does work in normal missions, and it's really crazy. So yeah, we have like thousands of armor right now. We can one-shot entire groups of enemies like no problem. The enemies can't really kill us very well because we're really tanky. It's just amazing, guys. And we have Vazarins, so we can actually be really useful in objective game modes where we actually have to protect an objective. So yeah, we can like heal it, we can heal our teammates. I really am happy with this Umbra Garuda build. I'm also really happy with my fashion frame. I got this special styling bandana just for her, and it's been working out great, guys. I want to quickly go over some things before I end this video. I want to just show you some suggestions I have for who to use your Umbra Forma on. So the reason I did that, I picked Garuda is because, for one, I really like Garuda. I think her theme is really awesome, and I think she's a very powerful frame as well. So it was just a perfect choice for me. I don't regret it at all, and I'm going to be saving an Umbra Forma for Garuda Prime when she comes out in a few years. So yeah, but let's just quickly go over my suggestions on who you use your Umbra Forma on. So number 1 choice, guys, like the best choice you can make is who you want to use it on. If you want to use it on Valkyr, if you want to use it on Loki, if you want to use it on Excalibur Umbra, do it. You worked hard for that Umbra Forma. You decide who you want to put it on. Even if it's not the best choice, like I know a lot of people have been trying to put it on Saren. Saren doesn't really need all the Umbra mods. She can use the Vitality one and the Intensify one, but she doesn't really use the armor one at all. That's perfectly fine. If you want to make yourself have one of the strongest Sarens in the game, go ahead and do it. I put this on Garuda because I want to have one of the strongest Garudas in the game. That's part of it, guys. If you know that you'll be getting a lot of use out of that Umbral Forma on one of your favorite frames, go for it, okay? And just keep in mind, you'll probably have one of the strongest versions of that frame in the entire game out of any player. So, yeah, that's a pretty fun thought to have. But let's move on to actual suggestions besides just whoever you want to. I think one of the best choices is Chroma Prime. Chroma Prime is the meta, limb breaker for Eidolons, and he's really good for orbs. He's really good for just being, really tanky and having crazy weapon damage. And an Umbra build on Chroma is going to be really strong because he doesn't need the Umbral armor mod, but you can definitely use it. All 3 of the Umbra mods will be useful on Chroma, although not completely required. So yeah, I definitely would say that he's one of the best choices because you can just have an even stronger Chroma build. But do keep in mind, Chroma is slated for a rework this year, so keep that in mind. Chroma's crazy weapon damage I hope it stays around, but I do hope that he gets like better. His first ability, his fourth ability, I don't think they're very good. Those could definitely be replaced. But yeah, all the Umbra mods benefit him quite a ton, so good choice there. Number 2, Oberon Prime. Oberon Prime is definitely one of the best choices for an Umbra Forma build. The way that his healing and armor boosting scales, the more armor he has, the better armor buff he gives his allies. So, also that scales with power strength too, and having health is just good. So, Oberon Prime benefits a ton from all 3 of the mods. The only problem is fitting that third Umbral mod on the build can be a bit of a pain in the butt. I know a lot of people have been like taking off Hunter Adrenaline and stuff on Oberon to make the Umbral build work. But it definitely is a good choice. You can use that for basically all content because all that crazy armor and healing that he gives is going to be relevant in basically all content, guys. If we're fighting Sentients in the future, because keep in mind, these Umbral mods also give you Sentient resistance, like damage reduction against Sentients. So if you think a frame is good against hunting or fighting Sentients, that's also another good reason you could put a Forma on them. Like I said, Chroma, probably going to be really good at killing Sentients when we get a Sentient faction in the future. Oberon, also going to be really good because he'll be constantly healing everyone. He's got his rad procs you can throw out. Let's move on to Rhino. So Rhino Prime, also really good. The big problem I have with Rhino Prime and Umbra Forma, guys, is that he does not need that Umbral Vitality mod at all. When you're playing Rhino, your health is your Iron Skin, and if you have a health mod on, there's probably something wrong with your build, to be honest. So he's only going to benefit from Umbral Intensify and Umbral Fiber, but that being said, getting those crazy Iron Skin values from an Umbral build on Rhino is totally going to be awesome, and I don't blame people that do that. I wish I had more Umbral Forma so I could put one on Rhino, to be honest. But yeah, I definitely think he's a good choice. Get a good armor buff for yourself, a good weapon damage buff for your teammates with all that extra power strength to intensify. Definitely a good choice there. And you can still run him. If you had an Umbral Rhino build for Eidolons, that would definitely be really solid. And you can do like 5 or 6x3s if you are a qualified enough player for that kind of stuff with a good team and all that. Okay, so definitely Rhino Prime is a good choice. And then one of the last choices for me is Korra. So Korra is really good now, guys. I mean, she's always been good. Well, not always been good. She's been good for a while, and she benefits pretty heavily from all 3 of the Umbra mods. Although the armor one is not as crazy as it really could be. But yeah, you could definitely make a good case for an Umbra Korra build. Keeping in mind, Korra Prime will not be out for another year, probably 3 years is my guess. So yeah, Korra would be a really good choice. She's really good from Kuva Survival. If you were to make a Umbral Kuva Survival build for Korra, you might be pretty tight on slots, honestly, to get like the really high range that you want for a Kuva Survival Korra build. But I think you could make it work. And also, Korra is like really tanky and stuff too, so I think that would be a good use of the Umbral Forma. And you wouldn't feel too bad about it because there's like, it's even another 3 years till Korra Prime comes out, so it's not going to be really a big waste. And then intentionally left out of this discussion are Nidus, Inaros, Nezha, and Valkyr. So the reason I'm not mentioning Nidus, Inaros, Nezha for this is because they're going to have primes coming out relatively soon. Nidus is a little bit far off. Nidus is probably like 2 years out. But as far as Inaros and Nezha are concerned for primes, those will probably be like later this year or next year. Okay, so well, Nezha for sure. Inaros will definitely be next year for his prime. But yeah, I don't think that it's worth using it on them right now because like next year they'll have a Prime version out that would definitely be a better use of using the Umbra form on the Prime version. And then the reason I didn't mention Valkyr, guys, is because although Valkyr is probably one of the best choices, like stat for stat, on putting the Umbra mods on in the first place because she benefits from the armor, the strength, and the health a ton, Valkyr is literally just like a melee frame. So I think that she's a little bit too limited in use for me to consider using an Umbra Forma on her. That being said, if you want the tankiest Valkyr in the game, put an Umbra Forma on her, and she will be disgustingly tanky. So, yeah, I can't really recommend Valkyr Prime as a Umbra Forma candidate, but it definitely is, like, powerful. I feel like she's a little bit too limited in use for me to openly suggest that. And that's basically it, guys. I hope that you found those suggestions helpful. I want to give people some ideas that I have and some reasoning behind why I'm doing these certain things. And that's basically it. Basically, Umbral Garuda is unnecessary. It just is like more tanky. It lets this build be even more ridiculous because like we're getting like thousands and thousands of armor from Mecha Pulse. Having an 800 armor base is really pretty nice. So yeah, I don't know if I would recommend this to everybody because like I said, there's the weird leveled mods. But yeah, I've been using this a ton. I've been using it in endless modes. I've been using it in normal missions. Nobody kills me, guys. It's like really awesome. You need to be a little bit careful on Mott with those shotgun guys because those guys do so much damage. But yeah, if you play safe and you keep having your healing pylons up, you are invincible, and you can kill any enemy with your Magus lockdown combination, okay? So yeah, if anyone from DE is watching this, please don't nerf it. I really love this playstyle so much. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. I'll talk to you next time. And yeah, use that Forma wisely, because we don't know if we're getting a new one yet. Peace.